Hello, my fellow citizens abroad. This is a special English broadcasting regarding President Moon Jae-in's proposal to make Pope Francis to visit North Korea when he was visiting Rome for attending G20 summit. Well, this issue was again criticized by some Korean affairs experts in the United States that this is not proper for Pope, to visit North Korea, where no freedom of religion is allowed and all the humanitarian problems still not resolved because abuses of basic human rights are prevalent, and because of severe dictatorship there under the royal family, Kim's third generation leadership, people are suffering too much for lack of basic necessities, and also their basic right to get information from outside the world is not allowed, something like that. And as everybody understands, leftist government, President Moon Jae-in, on last Friday, asked Pope Francis to visit North Korea to bring peace on the Korean Peninsula, and the Pope positively reacted to the offer, saying he's willing to do so if he receives an invitation from North Korea. But actually, after the short meeting between the two important figures, only I heard that 20-minute official meeting time, and except interpretation time, probably 10 minutes actual conversation. The Pope's office did not include any content regarding our President Moon Jae-in's invitation issue to go to North Korea. It was not reported in the content, but our Blue House, public relations team made an announcement saying that Pope Francis is positively considering to go to North Korea if official invitation letter is delivered in the future. And according to the news report, President Moon Jae-in made the offer during a meeting with the Pope at the Vatican earlier in the day, last Saturday, saying a Pope's visit will pave the way for creating a peaceful conditions for the divided peninsula, something like that. And also it will serve as a momentum for bringing peace on the Korean peninsula. But many critics on the issue saying that if Pope Francis visit there, probably it could create an illusion that, well, North Korea is an ordinary country with religion of freedom, where people's basic rights are guaranteed, but actually it is not. This is the question. And according to a public relations officials release, they argued that if the pontiff visit North Korea when an opportunity arises, it will be a momentum for peace on the Korean peninsula. And President Moon told the Pope, according to presidential spokesperson, also Park Kyung-hee, she said like that. But the Pope responded, encouraging that I'm willing to go there for peace and help all of you if North Korea send a letter of invitation. But actually, about 3 years ago, the similar invitation proposal was made by our government. At that time also by our President Moon Jae-in, but it did not happen. North Korea had not sent any invitation letter, and it just was an issue, and it never, the visit never happened since that time on. And I think many diplomatic issues, especially regarding North Korean questions, are being discussed nowadays as our government continues proposal on the issue of declaring the end of the Korean War, something like that. But it is not generally accepted and welcomed by our key ally, Washington, and actually the talks will be, I think, almost losing momentum for more pushing the issue into reality. And also this time, leftist government President Moon Jae-in's proposal asking Pope Francis to visit North Korea sometime in the future, it also is sounding like a similar ideal and in some sense diplomatically not practical diplomatic issue. Probably this also could be used for helping our current ruling party candidate Lee Jae-myung to get more support from South Korea's general public. And this issue also is never to be accepted by the general public sentiment of liberal conservative citizens in South Korea, because there are more urgent diplomatic and political issues to be dealt with our important diplomatic counterpart, including many advanced countries leaders and also like this Pope Francis. Instead of talking about this kind of peace postures not accepted by concerned countries and leaders, instead our current President Moon Jae-in should more focus on the issue of how to promote our national interest, and also talking more on practical measures, how to keep real peace on the Korean Peninsula, based on the balance of power concept, how to denuclearize all the increasing numbers of North Korea's nuclear weapons, something like that. And according to the report, during a meeting with the Pope in the year 2018, or 3 years ago, also our President Moon Jae-in delivered a verbal invitation from North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, and the Pope said at the time that he was willing to visit North Korea if Pyongyang sent him an official invitation. But after that, no further progress, however, has been made amid a deadlock in talks between North Korea and the United States. And this issue was again raised last Friday by our leftist President Moon Jae-in there. And I hope that this kind of ideal diplomatic proposal is not any helpful. Talks and talks. You could have talks on the table, talks and talks, but no practical result and no practical benefit to South Korean national security interest. So I think this time also our President Moon Jae-in repeated the same mistake. He made 3 years ago the similar proposal, but North Korea has not responded. North Korea has not responded by sending an official invitation letter to Pope Francis at the time or so. So again, I hope that instead of focusing on this kind of peace gestures and also thinking of certain kind of diplomatic conspiracies to help ruling party candidate Lee Jae-myung to gain more support from the Korean public, he should more focus on how to promote practical national security interest, like what I have just talked on the personal Baktaew TV, that probably before ending his tenure, President Moon Jae-in had better complete the duty of joining the Quad, the security framework which the United States has been pushing with all the effort for securing allied forces security interest in the India-Pacific region. I hope our government instead should focus on this kind of more practical issues. This is my short comment, and because I want all Koreans living abroad and those experts who are interested in Korean issues also had better understanding on these kind of issues, so that South Korean security interest and national interests could be more secured, by creating more balance